Alright, something I had not planned on doing, but went ahead and did anyway, was get not just one, but both of the Mars Toys 6 Feet Lane Studio third party Penguin figure. So I was just going to get one, and then I saw that there was two different versions, and I couldn't decide between the two. So I thought, why not get both? I mean, just compared to other figures that are out these days, it wasn't really that expensive. I thought, well, if it comes down to it, I can just sell whichever one I end up not displaying. But in the meantime, if I have both, I can at least mix and match if I need to, swap out head sculpts and outfits and things like that. So it's kind of a late review. I know this guy has been out for a while. I'm not sure how long he's been out. I think for a few months. And there's already a few reviews out. There aren't many reviews that have both, though, where the reviewer is comparing the two. But as you all may already know, they have all the same accessories. They have the Uzi, the umbrella, the duffel bag full of cash, and the little drop things, which are the drugs in the film. But they come with different head sculpts and different outfits. And so you have the A version, which we see right here. And he's got that slightly open mouth head sculpt. I think they could have done better on that head sculpt, though, at least with the open mouth, with the paint, because like you can just barely see some teeth. It almost just looks like he has big lips. I mean, his mouth is just, it's open, but it's barely open. But at least it's an expression, and I think it fits the character a little bit better, where he looks kind of startled or confused. It's like he thinks he sees Batman, but he's kind of surprised, and that kind of matches the movie. And then this guy over here, this is the B version, just has a straight up, just serious, means business kind of head sculpt. And I think it looks like the overcoats are a little bit different as well. Like on the A version, it's a little more glossy, so it's like what he would look if he were out in the rain. So I got the B version first, and then decided to get the A version as well. Just trying to base it really on screen accuracy. So I know with the A version, this is the look that he had in the mayor's funeral scene in the film. The tie is a little bit off. Like, this is a patterned tie, and I think he wears just a solid color tie in that. But I think other than that, it's pretty darn close to what he was wearing in that scene. I did watch the TV series, and I was looking at stills from both the film and the TV show to try to see where exactly this outfit with the B version comes from, and didn't really see it anywhere. I did see like a promo photo for the show where he's wearing something similar to this, but I don't know if he wore it in any of the episodes in the show. So I like to get at least as close to screen accuracy as possible if I want to spend, this kind of money on an action figure to put in my display. I'd like for it to be screen accurate, for it to be something that he wore in at least one episode or at least one scene in the movie. But anyway, so it really comes down to personal preference. I don't, as far as which one you like. And really, I would have to say probably the A version is probably the better option for me, not only because I know for sure that it's screen accurate, whereas the B version I'm less sure, but I also like I think the expression does work a little bit better. And even though, I think they could have done slightly better with, they could have had the mouth open a little bit more, and I've heard a lot of people say wish we would have gotten a smiling head sculpt, and I think that would have been good. Kind of like what we see on the box cover. But I'm glad that we at least have this option. So you have this head sculpt, and then the more serious one. So if you want to see them both up real close, there you go. And so the A version is the one that I have in my display now. This guy is going to go back into storage, and I'll just use... I may swap out the head sculpt at some point if I just want to switch up the display, but I like I prefer the look and the outfit on the first one, along with the slightly open mouth head sculpt. But you can't really go wrong with either one of these. But this is if you're trying to decide between the two, which one would you rather have? And yeah, I think for me it's definitely the A version. So I don't know if I'll keep the B version long term. But anyway, so, and this is the way I'm displaying it in the cabinet too. It's like I have him, I try to make it look like he's limping. So like I have this leg straight and this leg like he's kind of leaning on it, and I have this leg or this foot a little bit crooked. So I think that works pretty well as a pose. And also, if the A version looks a little bit bigger, that's because I padded him up a little bit. I literally just got some Kleenexes and shoved him up in the pant legs, and then some in the shoulders of behind the jacket as well, just to make him look a little bit bigger. But even without that, he looks bigger than the B version does. He looks a little bit bulkier just because of just the nature of the outfit. Just kind of like in real life, some clothing colors and things will make you look bigger, and then some other kinds of clothing will make you look smaller, slimmer. So it's kind of the same thing with this. But so this guy's going to look a little bit bulkier no matter what. So whereas the B version almost looks a little bit too slimmer than Oz really was. But they're both pretty amazing. Again, they come with all the same stuff, all the same accessories, just the different outfits, different head sculpts. And again, I didn't really realize this until earlier, but the coat on the A version has a more of a glossy look to it, as you can see, to mimic being out in the rain. So yeah, my personal preference is the A version, but I couldn't really tell from the YouTube videos and different photos that I was seeing. I had to have both of them in hand to really be able to make that call. So they're both good. They both look great in the display. I had the B version in the display for the last couple of weeks because he arrived first. So I got the B version from just a seller on eBay here in the States, and then the A version I had to get from Hong Kong. So I got both of them for $170 shipped a piece, like after shipping and tax and everything. So pretty good deal. I think they typically go for that anywhere between $170 and $190, somewhere in that range. I don't know if the value on these is ever gonna increase. I mean, with third-party figures, they usually don't. But again, these are really good. These are better than the typical third-party toys, and so this is it is Mars Toys after all. Even though it's 6 Feet Lane Studios, I mean, I've heard from multiple sources, it's 6 Feet Lane is like a subsidiary or sub-company or somehow connected with Mars Toys. And I remember briefly having the Cesar Romero Joker from Mars Toys, and it looked just as good as anything Hot Toys could have done. And that one was, by the time it arrived, I actually had already decided not to keep it. And when I sold it, it sold for well over $300. Now since then they've re-released it, so it's gone back down. But I know at least temporarily that one sold out and went way above retail. So I don't know what's going to happen with these guys. I'm sure that sooner or later Hot Toys will end up doing a figure of Oz, either from the film or the TV show. But knowing them, who knows when that'll be. I mean, they're just now really announcing a figure of Cassian Andor almost 10 years after Rogue One came out. So who knows why Hot Toys does what they do, but they just tend to do whatever they feel like whenever they feel like. So I think sooner or later we're going to get a Colin Farrell Oz from Hot Toys, but in the meantime, this is probably as good as it's going to get. I think there's a what are they called? A Yan Toys, Y Toys, whatever it's called, like another third-party figure of Oz that doesn't look nearly as good as this one. I think that company had also done a figure of the Riddler that wasn't quite as good as the 6 Feet Lane Studio Riddler. So I have the 6 Feet Lane Studio Riddler, so this goes perfectly with that, so there's some continuity there. So anyway, yeah, until Hot Toys gives us a Colin Farrell Penguin, whenever they decide to do that, whether it's sometime later this would have been the time to do it right after the TV show gets released, but for whatever reason they're not doing that. So whether sometime this year, next year, or 10 years from now, I think we'll get one eventually, but in the meantime, this will do just fine. It looks really good in the display. Again, I hadn't planned on adding anything else to my Batman display, but due to having a bit of a surplus and spending money in the collection or for the collection, mostly due to birthday money, and then also actually having space on the shelf in the Batman 22 display for another figure, I thought, why not? But then the conundrum was which one of these two to get. And again, they're both really good. You can't go wrong with both of them, but from the reviews that I've seen, most folks are leaning towards the A version, and I would agree. Again, the main thing for me with the B version is I don't know if there's any scene in the film or TV show where he actually wears that pinstripe suit and that pink shirt and tie. Again, somebody can let me know in the comments section if you know if he actually wears anything like that in the movie or series. But at least this A version is straight from the film, and so it fits in better with the Batman and Riddler figures also from the film. So yeah, so great job overall for 6 Feet Lane Studios / Mars Toys. Definitely well done for a third-party figure. Not perfect, but for a third-party company, a cheaper figure, I think this definitely meets, if not exceeds, all expectations. It will be a great placeholder until the Hot Toys version finally shows up 10 years from now or whatever. So that's really all I had to say about that. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.